Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to African Extreme, the home of action sports in Africa. I am Michael, and today we have a legend in the house. This man's a two-time Olympian and one of South Africa's top skateboarders, the one and only Brandon Valjalo. Let's get into it. From the streets of Jersey to the world, this man has done it all. How's it, dog?
What's good?
Stoked to officially have you on the show.
Yeah, bro. Thank you for having me. Really stoked to be here and really looking forward to our chat.
So before we dive into your life on and off the skateboard, right, let's take it back to the streets, right? So, I'm not sure if you're aware, but South Africa has recently put out its intentions to put up a bid to host the 2028 World Skate Games.
Yeah, so the World Skate Games is pretty much the highest level of competitive skateboarding. So I think that when it comes down to the skateboarding aspect and being able to inspire the next generation of African skaters, being able to bring that level to SA will only help us progress a lot faster. So I think having that event, hosting that event over here would be something that could really take us to the next level and really open up the world and the public to what skateboarding actually entails. So I think it's a great opportunity to help the sport grow in Africa and in South Africa in general. And I think that it only has positive things to do for our industry over here, for sure.
For sure. So you've skated these events before, about 3 if I'm not mistaken. What is it like rubbing shoulders with the top dogs of skateboarding?
To be honest with you, skating with all the best skaters in the world, being able to be up there and like really push that envelope for myself was a dream come true. You know, I've always wanted to skate at the highest level. It's kind of when your role models become your rivals, you know, so it's a surreal moment. Hopefully one that has inspired a lot of African kids to pursue their dream of skating, and something for me that I feel like is a pioneering aspect of, you know, really putting us on the map at the same time.
So a lot's been happening in terms of big contests in South Africa lately. Let's talk about the Kimberley Diamond Cup. I don't know if you know, but the Northern Cape provincial government has put down 32 million, if I'm not mistaken, aside just to grow the skateboarding scene and make sure it's sustainable. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I wasn't sure of the value, but for sure, I think that that tender has been something that has been going on in the Kimberley Diamond Cup realm since around about like 2010.
In your opinion, how do you think the government should spend the money in order to grow the scene?
Yeah, so I mean, they should definitely be doing a contest circuit around the whole entire country, you know, trying to tap into all the different provinces. It comes down to being able to have provincial events or regional events all around the world or all around the country, and then be able to go from the regional events to a national championship, you know. So I think by hosting more events, they could help be able to get the kids into that contest environment. I also think they can build better facilities around the country. You know, being able to build the world-class skate parks would definitely help progress the level of skateboarding in our country and also get more people involved. And then I think if they had to use that to actually be able to build and support the skateboarding team that competes for South Africa, I think it would be more beneficial to be able to have the right structure in place that you don't have to work a 9-to-5 job and try skate on the side to pursue a skate career, you know?
No, for sure.
So a lot of the other countries in the Olympic realm, like the government actually pay them a salary, a monthly retainer, so that they can actually just focus on skating.
Exactly.
And I think being able to have that kind of advice or have that kind of, I guess, support will help you be able to perform a little bit better, you know, because you're not worried about putting food on the table. So I think by giving you that to work towards as well, you're going to be motivated to get better results, because the better you perform, the more you make. You know, it's kind of like that incentive thing that they got going on in the business workplace environments. So I think that's another way they could do it. And then also development programs, because that's where it really starts, you know. So going to the grassroots areas, being able to provide equipment for kids that might not be able to afford it so that they can be introduced into skateboarding. I think that's where we're going to cultivate our like new talent and get the new kids coming through. And I think like 32 million rand is a lot of money, you know, so I think it could be used really well to be able to grow the sport in a sustainable way, but allocating that budget towards different things, the events, the development program, and then also the national team support, to be able to get those international results.
So let's take it back. Take it back to 2 months, right? 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
How did you prepare for your winning run? Also, because initially, if I remember correctly, you were not planning on attending the competition.
Yeah.
Then you decided to put up a poll on your Instagram asking, like, yo, should I pull up to the comp or not? How do you even, like, tap into that mindset?
Preparation-wise, like, I wasn't really fully prepared. I just know I'm confident on my board, and I really enjoyed that park. And I went out there guns blazing, bro. Like, I wanted to win. I wanted to inspire the kids. I wanted to also show them what it looks like, to be able to go there and win a contest and be able to inspire them in that way with some international standard tricks, So I think the end of the day, it was just about hanging out with the community that really got me to go there, bro. You feel me?
Cool. Let's take it even further back. So 2014, right? That's when you officially burst onto the scene. Just at the tender age of, like, what are you, like 15, 16?
Yeah.
Dude. So how did that experience push you to becoming the pro that you are today?
Yeah, so for me, I was always in, like, the traditional sports in school, so it came down to, like,
athlete.
My parents wanted me to, like, pursue either football or going into the cricket realm, because I had sports scholarship for school at the time, going in those sports. And I guess for me, like, going to the Kimberley Diamond Cup was a really important event because I knew the best skaters were coming out and my favorite skaters too, So I told my dad there's this event. He was like, okay, cool, let's go through, So he took me through the first time to experience it when I was a little bit younger. So I watched the first time because I had a rolled ankle and I was in a moon boot. So I was still super young, but the next year I watched everyone and was like, I really want to go and skate it in the next year, So I was just practicing, skating skate parks, working on my tricks. Went out there in 2014, skated the national side of the event. And it was all the SA guys, like the top SA crew.
Okay.
And I was just like, okay, cool. I had my run planned out. Like, I was really, like, passionate about what I was doing. And I went in there with the plan, I was like, okay, I have my line, I'm ready. Skated that event, and I ended up winning the contest, which I think, like, won me 50,000 Rand at the time. And my parents were shook, bro.
Yeah,
they were like,
it's like 15, that's a lot of money.
You know what I'm saying? They were like, dude, I never expected that at all. Like, you just went a weekend away from school and you came back with 50,000 Rand. Like, it was that really, like, okay, you could maybe make something out of skateboarding, that understanding from my parents. So I think from that stage, they kind of really understood what I do and they respected it a little bit more. And they were like, okay, let's see what you can do with it. We understand you taking it seriously, but at the same time, I was like, I won that one. I was like, Dad, I want to go to America. Like, I want to see how good I am against the best in the world, And he was like, son, like, you've only won the SA championship once. Like, you got to do it again to make sure it wasn't lucky. So I was like, okay. So I was like, I had something to work towards. And it came down to me just skating the event the next year and winning it 2 times in a row.
Okay.
My dad was like, okay, let's see if we can use some of this prize money towards my trip to America to go skate there, meet a couple of the companies, people that I was working with at the time. So it was really like the first through ball into the international market and international scene. So KDC definitely did give me that confidence to know, like, I can win competitions on a national level, but then also introduced me to a lot of international skaters, So I cracked my first invite to European competition from winning Kimberley Diamond Cup.
Skating contests, making money, winning the contest, but obviously at some point sponsorships come into the picture, right? So let's talk about Red Bull. That's a massive thing, right?
Yeah.
So how did that come to be, hey?
Yeah, dude. So for me, like, Red Bull was always like one of my dream sponsors as a kid growing up. I think that's because I was heavily influenced by Ryan Sheckler when I was younger too. And he skated for Red Bull. So, I mean, for me, being able to, like, work towards getting a Red Bull hat and realizing how exclusive that actually was at the time, I was like, okay, damn, it's only for athletes. Like, you can't just go buy a hat, or you can't, like, have any of the branding, no logos, no stickers, nothing. I was like, okay, yo, that became like a goal of mine, like something that was not unbelievable that I couldn't reach, but something at the same time that I was like, okay, I have to work really hard to achieve this,
Okay.
And through trusting the process, really, like, skating more events, making myself, like, available to participate in national events, traveling around the whole of SA, really pushing the envelope then to the international scene, kind of really got me that recognition. And it was like a period of like almost 8 years that I was working on the Friend of Red Bull program, where they kind of like help you like grow into being the next Red Bull athlete, you know?
Okay. It's nice that they have a program like that.
Yeah, dude, for sure. And I mean, for me at the time, they were supporting a bunch of my travels domestically in South Africa, you know, to go and skate more events. So it was that support you need to be able to appear at more events, you know? So I think after 8 years, they thought I was necessarily ready. They were like, okay, you're ready to be a branded athlete. And they took that step after I qualified and skated in the Tokyo Olympics. So,
fire, dude.
yeah, dude, honestly, a dream come true, bro, because having that support, not even just financially, but having the support from them when it comes to strength and conditioning, rehabilitation, injuries, like skating dangerous, bro. We slam all the time. We hurting ourselves all the time. And you need to take care of your body. You only got one, you know, and like that kind of support that Red Bull really put in towards that, it's definitely something that like money can't buy, you know?
So what are some of your favorite tricks to do and why?
Yeah, dude. So I think there's a couple of tricks I really like. I really like any big spin variation. So big spin front boards, big spin back tails, dude, big spin blunts. You know what I'm saying? Like anything big spin, I really like. Backside big spin specifically. And then anything 3-shove, bro. So it's kind of the same thing as a big spin, but except my body stays straight for anybody that isn't really a skater that's watching. But it's like sometimes I get an impossible wrap on my 3-shoves. Sometimes I get just a 3-shove, like I'll take what I can get, you know, but it's definitely those two tricks. And then kind of anything like out of a grind or a manny nollie flip, you know what I'm saying? Like nose manny nollie flips, flip nose manny nollie flips, like just feels so good.
But let's bring it to Africa, dude. Let's bring it to Africa. Let's bring it back home. What's your take on the growth in the African skate scene right now?
Dude, to be honest with you, I feel like skateboarding is definitely growing in Africa. I think I've seen a lot of community aspects and a lot of things that are happening at the moment that are showing positive signs of like the next generation coming through. So much talent, bro. Raw talent too, that I feel like if you nurture it in the right way, there's no way that we are not going to have a gold medalist in a competitive scene.
There's the raw talent, right?
Yeah.
But in your opinion, what's the missing link to just like push us to that spot, you know, on the international level? What's the missing link that we need as Africa that can just like snap something?
So I think missing link might be the facilities at that level, because although we have great spaces like YBF, you know, it's still the international competition scene. There's something different about the way that California skate parks build their parks, you know, when it comes down to how steep the banks are, how tight the parks actually are in terms of space, you know. So being able to apply yourself on the international scene comes down to more experience on those kind of courses, you know. So I think if we get more world skate kind of facilities built by California skate parks, that could really help push that kind of progression in terms of results for the country. But other than that, bro, like I think skateboarding is all like confidence, bro. And I think the more you give the kids the opportunity to get on a board and skate and be able to give them the equipment that they need. So I think there's also a lack of like product in our country, bro, when it comes to like shoes and boards. Like kids are skating boards for like 2 years trying to make it work because they can't afford to go buy a new one, you know? So like I think Africa's in an interesting place where like we have such raw talent that could possibly be the best in the world, but then there's actual like real world problems that people are facing over here that like they struggling, G. Like people are trying to eat, you know, they're trying to put a roof over their head. Like there's like real problems that we have in third world countries that it's not the same as like in developed countries like America. Like these homies are just chilling. You know, they don't have like real problems.
They don't have to worry about surviving anymore.
You know what I'm saying? Like over here, it comes down to like ultimate survival instincts, bro. So I think like if you had to make a decision in South Africa and it's like you have 600 Rand, you know, are you going to go buy a board or are you going to put food on the table for your family?
Yeah.
Like, it's a no-brainer, dude. Like, you're putting
Get
food
you.
on the table.
Definitely,
You understand what I'm
definitely.
saying? So I think, like, the equipment aspect and being able to make, like, more donations available from the world skate scene to be able to get it down to the grassroots kids is something that will be able to help take away that stress, you know?
Yeah.
Let them just fully focus in on skating. And facility-wise, bro, like, if we could get the best facilities, no doubt, bro. Like, no doubt in my mind that we will
Yeah.
have the best skateboarder in the world coming out of Africa. Like,
Not for sure, dude.
no doubt.
So, do you see yourself playing a role with regards to like the growth of the skate scene in Africa? And if yes, in what capacity do you see yourself like playing that role?
Yeah, dude. So, I mean, to be honest with you, skateboarding's given me this dream life that I've always dreamt of living as a kid. And I feel like I'm entitled to actually give back to skateboarding and give back to the community, bro. So, there's a crucial role I want to play in being able to get all the moving parts to work together so that we can have the financial support side and the organized side come together so that we could actually have the best opportunities as skateboarders, you know? I see like where there's a lot of power in kind of the skateboarding world when it comes down to Olympics and stuff like that, it does get very political in terms of like organized sport, who's doing this, who's doing that, which contests you can skate, which places you should go, which places you shouldn't go, how you qualify, what people's perceptions are of the actual events that are going on in the national capacity and the normal business side where like organized individual events are organizing things to like, you know, give back to the community. So
Yeah.
I think like the politics side of skateboarding, bro, like I always say, like politics, not politics, bro. Like we should be together so that the skateboarders can have the best opportunity.
Definitely.
And
I'm in agreement with that for sure.
from like all my experience, bro, of like traveling and seeing how other countries run it and like how the whole business model works, I think it's crucial for me to be the pioneer that has gone there to the debut of the Tokyo Olympics to like almost get the people that aren't skaters to understand from a skater's perspective so that the next generations could have the best opportunities and like have those things that maybe I felt like I wasn't getting in terms of support at the time. Make sure that they don't got to worry about that, you know, like all they got to worry about is the tricks and like going out there and doing their best. And I think like playing that role to be able to give them everything they need and the blueprint they need from their training like program all the way through to like the marketing side of skateboarding. If I can give them all of that information, they can do whatever they want with it. But I know that if they're hungry enough, they're going to persevere and they're going to trust the process. And I think like being able to host my own events too is something that like I can create that environment, bring over international skaters, let them be a little bit more exposed to the international scene and also show them what's possible. Like instead of just talking the talk, I want to walk the talk. You know what I'm saying? Like go out there, turn pro in America, like put out the best video parts, compete in contests with the best in the world. Like I want people and everyone in South Africa and Africa in general to know that like it's possible, you know, like to rub shoulders with your role model and to compete against them. Like that's possible. You know, it's not impossible for you to do that because there's somebody that you know that is a real human that you've interacted with and had like real experiences with and real moments with that you're going to believe in yourself. Like if he can do it, I can do it.
I can do it for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Now rock with that, dude. Yeah. So you mentioned obviously like being able to compete with like people that you look up to, dude. So it's just like happening at proper competitions.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite contests to skate in, both locally and internationally?
Internationally, I think some of the funnest contests are definitely the ones throughout Europe. So Copenhagen Open, like really fun celebration of skateboarding. There's a couple of other events that happen throughout Europe. And it's every summer, bro. So like 3-4 months of just each weekend, like a different contest or a different event going on around Europe. And I think like that's been something for me that I've done every year since I've gotten out of high school. And it's been something that has made me like live an endless summer for like the past 6 years, bro. So it's been crazy just chasing summer, just being able to skate all these spots around Europe. It's like a dream come true, bro. You know, you get to skate the best obstacles, the best ledges, the best rails, and like local contests. I would say that the Street Lines events is a really fun one. They have that one in Pretoria, so it's like Thrasher
Yeah,
Skate Park.
annually, yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's like another one of the places that I grew up skating. You know, I went to school in Pretoria, so that space for me is also something that I used throughout high school, you know, to be able to progress in my skating. So I think Street Lines is really fun. But I think my favorite local contest is yet to exist.
Okay.
Yeah, bro, I want to host something here at YBF, bro.
Yeah.
I think that this is such a great space too that we haven't really had like everybody from the whole scene around the country come out to
Yeah.
skate an event here. So I think like I'm about to create my favorite local
Let's
contest,
go,
no
dude.
doubt, bro.
Two-time Olympian, right? Representing South Africa twice, dude.
Crazy.
What does that mean to you?
To be honest with you, it's like a dream come true, bro. Like I wanted to get there. I got there. I qualified in the end. I represented my country. It's an honor, bro. Like the positive impact that I saw it had on people and how much it inspired them to like really pursue skateboarding. Like, dude, you're an inspiration. The amount of positive messages, bro. And like I guess after Tokyo, I was kind of disappointed in my performance, you know? Like I'd set goals for myself. I really wanted to achieve these goals, wanted to make finals, wanted to try push for a medal, but like, bro, it's the best skaters in the world. Like from all around the world, it's the highest level, you know, the hardest skate park I've ever skated. And like I also broke my wrist 2 days before the event. So like I shouldn't have been so hard on myself, but I was. But then it was also something that made me realize like, okay, damn, it wasn't just about winning, bro. Like I persevered, like I broke my wrist, I still skated, I still
Yeah, dude.
competed.
Because you
And
competed
like,
with the cast on, dude.
yeah,
And I was
bro,
like, damn, this dude is out here.
there was nothing that was gonna stop me, bro. It was
Yeah.
the debut of skateboarding in the
know.
Olympics, and like, bro, we pioneering it. And if I never competed because of a broken wrist, then like I would not be an Olympian. I would not have skated the debut, and also think I would have regretted it because, bro, you only need your legs to skate, bro.
So, obviously, dude, having skated the Olympics, the multiple SLS events, dude, do you think you've been able to change the world's view on African skateboarding?
Yeah, bro. So most definitely being in that environment where there's billions of people watching the TV and watching skateboarding, I got so many people that had no idea that skateboarding in South Africa was like a legitimate thing.
Yeah.
You know, and like being able to open their eyes to what skateboarding actually is and being that guy that can put it on the map from working on my social media platforms, you know, showing them and like being really dedicated to skateboarding in general and showing that it's not just like a hobby. You know, like I treat it like a sport. I train like it's a sport. I train like an athlete. And I eat like an athlete and I think like an athlete. So it's like, you need to respect me if I'm holding it down for myself, you know? So
For sure.
being in that position and being able to like go out there and compete, it goes beyond that. Cause then after the Olympics, they watch you for that short period of time, right? But then they kind of go to your social channels to like keep up to date with whatever's going on throughout the year when you're not at the Olympics or however you're training, building up to the next Olympics, for example. So like I think there's been a lot of traction on my channels when it comes down to that. And being that guy that makes them realize and think that like it's legitimate. Like what we're doing is serious. You need to treat us with respect. Like we're not just playing. You know, we're not just wasting our time. Like we're actually working to be the best versions of ourselves, you know? So I think like me being that guy and also going into certain meetings, certain boardrooms and like really pushing the envelope for skateboarders in general, I think that it's only going to help us grow. And from the public's perception of it, they're seeing skateboarding in a more legitimate way now after I've like dealt with big corporations, you know, and then comes down to them really investing more because of the kind of ideas that I'm helping them generate and ideas that, yo, skateboarding is so in right now. FMB is doing commercials with skateboarding, you know what I'm saying?
Dude,
like it's coming down to the point where all these big corporate companies are using this cool new sport that has really gripped the youth and the new generation coming through. Like they're using the credibility that we have to be able to promote what services they offer or products they sell, you know? So I think that there's more opportunity and more is going to come from it. So it's like more opportunity to make skateboarding your actual career.
I'm all for it, dude, eh? But then again, let's
100%.
talk about the infamous Olympics tattoo, hey? Is it mandatory Like, do you guys have some guy that's just at the door, dog, at the door to the village, just branding people, and it's like you don't get inside until you have the like
So
Olympic
funny.
logo tattooed on you, dog?
Yeah,
Is
dude.
it
So,
mandatory?
I mean, like, bro, let me show it to you while you guys are here. But, like,
Okay.
pretty much what it comes down to, bro, is like, this is just like a resemblance, bro,
Yeah, yeah.
of like the hard work that you put in, like all the memories you made through like the qualification journey and being
Yeah.
able to get there and eventually make it through. So,
Hmm.
like, when you look at that, bro, it's like so many different feelings of emotions that that logo represents, kind
Yeah.
of way too many things that move at the same time. You
I
know, there's
get you.
5 different circles for each one of the continents.
Hmm.
We've traveled the whole entire world competing to qualify for this Olympics. And then when you get there, you represent your people, bro. So like your people, your country, your family, your friends, like it means so much to you that like sometimes you can have that element of self-doubt, you know?
Yeah.
But then you really need to realize like you're being put in that position for a reason. You're gonna go out there like it's bigger than just you. It's about like uniting a whole nation together.
Hmm.
And like
Hmm.
when you see the results of winning a medal in sports, bringing people from different backgrounds all together and like
Yeah.
uniting our country, celebrating all together is beautiful, bro.
No, for
Something
sure.
like beyond society, beyond humanity, sport unites people.
Dude, so tell me, what is it like traveling the world as a pro skater? And would you say you're living the dream?
Yeah, dude, to be honest, like skating all around the world, meeting different skaters from different parts of different cultures, bro. You know what I'm saying? Eating different cuisine, traveling the world,
Yeah.
um, meeting everybody, skating perfect ledges, perfect rails, going down to it, bro. Like it's everything I could have ever dreamed of. So, most definitely, bro, being
Yeah.
able to travel the world and skate was everything I always wanted. And yeah, we're here today, bro. So, inspiring, dude.
So you're busy right now finishing your degree in marketing and balancing being a professional athlete. How important do you think it is to develop that balance?
So yeah, dude, I think education is important because you need to know what you're gonna do after your skate career, you know, or how you can evolve into the skate world and grow skateboarding. So being educated is something I've taken pretty seriously from the get-go. And I think it's only gonna help me be able to create more and be respected amongst the business world.
Okay.
And I think balancing it between being a pro skater, dude, kind of, it's tough. You know, you
Yeah.
got to sacrifice some things. Like I sacrificed not going to Tampa this year. Certain events that you got to miss out on, and bro, it does play a role. Like I start feeling FOMO, I start feeling disconnected from the skate scene. But it's one of those small sacrifices you got to make for a long-term gain.
Okay.
Looking at the bigger picture, and I think like realistically and always like being able to balance the two has helped me with my time management skills. You know, like being a young kid coming out of school, kind of always being nonchalant and just like taking things as it came, like that was no longer possible. You know, I had to
Yeah.
start realizing you need to plan things, like you need to start planning things, writing them down, write down the different ways that you can work towards achieving that plan and getting
Yeah.
that thing to go in motion, kind of, you know. So I think for me, being educated and working together and being a skater at the same time, it's just helped me manage my time a little bit better and
Fire.
help me kind of explore more opportunities in the skate world.
Okay. So, would you say you're a celebrity, a role model, or just like a cool skater that's keeping their head down?
Damn, dude. So I don't know. I don't feel like a celebrity, you know, I'm just a skater. But at
Cap.
the end of the day, like, bro, when you go to some places and people are showing love and they approach you and like
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
asking for photos and stuff like that and sign this board, sign this, sign their shirt, sign
yeah,
their forehead, like it's surreal. But I kind of don't really put a status on it because like I don't feel like a celebrity, you know. I can still walk in the malls, like I'm not getting bombarded by people. So like celebrity's a stretch, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Um, in terms of what I want to be perceived as is definitely a role model, bro, and an athlete, you know. I'm just here to skate. I wanna let my skateboarding do the talking, and then it comes down to just being the perfect role model that can inspire the next generation to be the best versions of themselves.
Speaking of which, do you feel pressure from all of this?
When it comes down to it, bro, like pressure is all about perception, right? And perspective.
Oh,
So
interesting. Hey,
I think
bars.
like whenever I'm in that environment and I'm like feeling pressure, I kind of know that I care about it, you know? When you get that little butterfly feeling in your stomach, it means like you care enough about what you're doing that it means something to you, like you're worried about the outcome, you know?
Yeah.
So I think like being able to take that feeling that I used to get every single time I skated a contest, or being in like a kind of environment where I felt like I had pressure to perform, I kind of like changed my mindset and perspective of pressure, you know,
Yeah.
and I realized like, and I carried on telling myself over and over again and affirming it to myself that pressure is a privilege,
Yeah.
you know? Like, sorry, I didn't want to like slip up there, but I was like
I
getting
get you.
excited as I'm saying it. But it's
Yeah.
like, to be honest with you, being in an environment where you feel pressure
Yeah.
means you care about it, but it's also a privilege, bro. Like
Yeah.
looking at it like this is not life or death, you know,
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna die if I don't perform, you know, but at the same time, it's like it's a privilege to be in that environment, to care about what you're doing enough to want the best outcome from that situation, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, seeing how many kids I'm inspiring, like when I'm in some certain environments, competition-wise, representing the country, you do feel some kind of pressure to perform just because you know that you're holding it down for all those people, you know, your
Yeah.
family, your friends, like everybody's watching, everybody's speaking about it. So yeah, I do feel pressure, but I also use pressure to perform at the best of my ability
Yeah.
and use it to kind of, like they say, bro, pressure makes diamonds. You know,
Facts, facts,
if you're
facts,
able to
facts.
take that and bring out the best possible performance in yourself and like change your mindset about how pressure is perceived, you can use it to your advantage, bro.
What's it like, dude, skating at this Red Bull demos across the globe with all these big names? Like you've got Jamie Foy in there, you've got
Yeah.
Filippo Gustavo in there, dying, like a bunch of other great names. What is it like, dude?
Dude, so the fun thing about demos is that like there's no pressure, you know?
Yeah.
It's just another day in the skate park. You're doing pretty much what you would do on a day-to-day basis. But doing those international Red Bull demos with the team, bro, you're really able to like feed off of each other's energy, and skating with people like Foy
Yeah.
and Gustavo and Felipe Gustavo as well.
Filippo
You know what
Gustavo,
I'm
yeah.
saying? Like Zion as well. Everybody brings their own energy
Yeah.
to the environment that we're in. So skating with some of the Red Bull guys internationally, bro, and hearing the crowd roar at all the different tricks we got. We all have different tricks in our bag, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like another fun day in the skate park, but really with some people I idolized growing up, you know what I'm saying, and some of my favorite skaters. So it's
Nah,
pretty trippy to
sick,
be in
dude.
that environment, but also like, dude, so fun.
Nah, fine, dude. So obviously, most of the trips are done internationally, but which one has been your favorite African skate trip?
Wow, bro, my favorite African skate trip. It's kind of tricky, bro. It's either between Kenya or Egypt,
Yeah.
because I've been to, yeah, Egypt twice and I've only been to Kenya once. But bro, like the skate scenes there have so much more to grow, you know. But they also have like a really involved and small skate scene that is very tight knit.
Yeah.
So it's like nobody's against anybody yet. Everybody's like still coming together, still like celebrating that love for skateboarding. And I think like it's the early days, you know. So, I mean, they've got hella spots in Egypt, bro. A lot of development going on. So Egypt's been super fun in terms of like skating the streets, the skate scene and the cultural side as well, bro.
Nah,
People
for
get
sure.
really involved. So every time we've hosted like different events, bro, people have just been like so hyped, bro.
So they pull
Like
out in
such
in
good
the
energy.
masses, dog.
Yeah, such good
Yeah.
energy, and like a lot of people just like watching skating, getting involved, really partaking, you know.
Yeah.
So Egypt's been really cool, but Kenya was definitely a different experience
Yeah.
to Egypt,
Oh
you
wait,
know.
remind me. So, Kenya is that why he did like that big gap, dude?
Yeah,
And that
bro.
crusty spot. Dude, that
Yeah.
was fire.
So, dude, Kenya was a crazy experience altogether,
Yeah.
bro. Because I guess I kind of went to this food spot called Carnivore, and I started being like a little bit crazy and trying like different delicate things that they eat in Kenya.
Yeah.
One of them is like ox balls.
Lie?
Yeah,
For
dude,
real?
like I
Dude,
don't know.
is it like a thing?
It's for older men in Kenya.
Okay.
You know, it's like because your teeth as you get older start like being more like fragile, they need something with like a soft texture that still provides you with a lot of protein.
For sure, for sure.
So
for
like
sure.
these homies made me try all of this kind of stuff. You know, I ate some crazy food, ate some crocodile, went crazy with it, you know.
Yeah.
Like I was really big into kind of
Hashtag
everybody eats, bro.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
You know what I'm
Vibes,
saying? And like
vibes,
when I
vibes, vibes.
travel, like the main thing is to tap into that culture, you know,
Yeah.
from a food point with like learning about different cultures, how people are, how they celebrate, you know, all of these different things are important, you know,
Definitely.
to really localize where you are. And Kenya was cool, but I kind of like had this stomach situation go on there.
Yeah.
Where like, bro, I had like the worst cramp. I thought like I'd burst my appendix pretty much.
Yeah,
So
and you're an athlete also, so
yeah,
like
dude.
that's
So
like
I
your,
couldn't even get up out of my hotel bed like the next day for some like random weird reason, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'd already hosted the Go Skateboarding Day kind of event that we had going in Kenya. And like we had skated, they had no kind of facilities to do the Red Bull Road Gap. It wasn't Go Skate Day, it was Red Bull
Yeah.
Road Gap. So I was like, guys, back in my day, how we used to do the biggest gap is we'd put skateboards.
Yeah.
You know, so like we really tapped into like the beginning of how it was and put like 14 boards eventually across, and I kickflipped across it while skating with the local guys in Kenya. And bro, like everybody there skates so good too, bro, like raw talent, but you can see like such a poor country at the same time, you know.
Get you, yeah.
Like it's kind of tough that they only have one skate park there. It's also not, bro, it's nowhere near like the standard we have over here, even at YBF standard. But I think like you can see how much the kids love it and how they look forward to progressing and going out and skating, because it actually gives them something to do. But yeah, speaking about that tray flip, bro, I went to the doctor that same day. And was like kind of getting checked out for my appendix being burst. Then they thought it was like cancer, like testicular cancer or something. Just kind of a crazy thing to hear from a doctor. Like now you're getting ultrasounds getting done, you know what I'm saying? Making sure there's no like cysts. Bro, crazy story overall. But basically, like I ended up leaving there. They said, you're all good to go. Here's some painkillers for this feeling I was feeling. It felt like I'd like ripped the tissue in my lower abdominal area, bro. So I couldn't like push, couldn't skate at all, couldn't do anything. They gave me, I guess, some painkillers from Kenya. And I don't know if their painkillers are super strong or what, but I ended up linking up with the skate community afterwards, and like they wanted to take me to different spots and everything. And I was like to the guys, like, I'm super sorry, guys, I can't skate. Like I don't know what's going on with my health right now, you know? And as I started like being in the mission, we went to 2 spots. I'm like watching them skate, filming the community, like still being involved in the vibes of the day, you know? And it got to a point where it was like, okay, yo, we got to the spot and they were like, yo, we skate this side like a mani pad. And then I got there and I saw this gap, bro. And like, I just had this little angel on my shoulder and this little, like, you know, other one on my shoulder over here, like shouting different things at my head, like, yo, bro, you won't do this. You're too much of a chicken to do this, you know? On the one side, and the other side's like, bro, you got this, bro. Like, you could do this, you know? And then I just couldn't get those voices out of my head. Like, I had to skate this gap.
I get you.
You know, so I started like feeling like pretty good because the painkillers were working at this point. Start warming up a little bit. I'm running around and I was like, okay, yo, I'll lead the gap first. I was like, okay, it's pretty big. You know, I'm going over a pillar from rough ground, over a pillar into a road, a crusty ass road. And I was like, okay, I'll lead it pretty easy. First and second try back to back. And I was like, dude, I think I could tray bomb this. And the homie Sam was there. He was filming. He said to me, I was like, bro, you got that. And then that's when the battle began, bro. I was just there hucking this tray flip. And I think it was a couple of tries before I got it, but bro, the commitment was there every time, you know?
Single try.
I like couldn't get out of my head. I was like, I got this, bro. And adrenaline pumping so much, and I ended up getting it, bro. And it was a pretty fat
gnarly,
3 flip for sure.
Gnarly. I think we need that clip too, dog. We need that clip too.
And dude, to be honest, like in that moment, what was so special is that the kid that was like the most talented one I had seen in Kenya, his truck broke on his board, bro. He had no bushings, he had nothing. He was just like trying to set his board up and still skate with no like bushings.
No bushings.
And I was just like taken away by it. He's still 3 flipping, he's still doing tricks. I was like, wow, this kid's crazy. But after I did that tray bomb, literally as I'm celebrating with some of the local Kenya skaters, bro, I saw him come up to like congratulate me on landing it. And like just in that moment, there was something in my head that was like, bro, give him your board. Like
Yeah.
that kid deserves your board, you know? So
Nah,
I gave him
fire,
my
dude.
board. Him and all the homies are celebrating. Like he just did the trick as well, you know?
Yeah.
And from that moment, like, bro, super fulfilling, everything about it, just being able to see how his face lit up, like watching me do the trick, seeing what's possible, me giving him that board that I did that trick on, you know, he's
Yeah.
like, bro, this one's got all the power for me to be
Facts,
even
dude.
better, you know?
The
And
ISO has been updated already,
that's what
dog.
I'm saying, bro. So I was like, in that moment, I think some of the best moments for me in just terms of like feeling the most fulfilled for doing what I do as a skateboarder, you know.
Nah, for sure, dude.
So yeah, shout out to Kenya. I'd love to go back again, bro.
Let's
Honestly, what a
go.
great experience all in all.
Nah, fire, dude. Nah, dude. Like clearly, you're a man with a big heart. But I'm sure people want to know, like, besides like skateboarding, dog, who is Brandon, dude? Like, what do you do in your spare time, dude? What do you catch on to?
Yeah, bro. So yeah, I've got a lot of different moving parts at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm really into all kinds of sports when it comes down to it. I really like the social aspect of playing golf. It's very, very kind of nice, like something that just takes my mind off of all my issues. It kind of
Okay.
takes me to a different reality of like, I'm just here, I'm in nature, I'm playing golf with the homies, super fun. So I like to kick back and play a
Yeah.
little bit of golf in my free time. Definitely playing a lot of like five-a-side soccer with my homies
That's
too.
what's up. That's what's up.
So like I still stay physical and still stay fit where I can, but also like more social environments of playing sport too.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of something activity based, but it's always like with the social element
Nah,
when it comes
fire,
down
dude.
to. So I think for me, it's been like, besides for all the obligations I have from studying and skating and
Yeah.
the kind of career I'm pushing, it's always like socializing with homies, being able to really enjoy my friends' company and whoever I'm
Nah,
around
for
at the
sure.
time, you know. So I like to be present. I like to be in nature. I like to go on hikes. I love the beach. I love just being outside, bro. Like, I don't really like being inside too much, bro. I don't like being behind a phone or behind a screen or
Yeah.
technology. I kind of prefer just being outside, being in nature and like feeding off of other people's energy and hype, bro.
Nah, for sure, dude. Who do you spend most of your time with, though?
Damn, so
Like when you're not skating?
probably my girlfriend, bro, if I'm honest with you, because like it comes down to she's traveled with me the past like year and a half to everywhere I've gone. She's been like the kind of like support that I've needed throughout the whole entire process. Like that friend, because a lot of the travels kind of get lonely, you know, at the
I
same
get
time.
you.
Like you travel a lot, you're meeting a lot of different people and new people, but yeah, you still feel like sometimes kind of alone, you know? So being able to have somebody there for me at the same time, I'd say like she's probably the one that spends the most time with me this moment
Yeah.
in time for sure.
I get you, dude. You also travel to California quite a lot, dude. Why
Yeah.
is that, dude?
Dude, so Cali is like where the skate scene pops off, you know, it's where
Okay.
it originated from. It's like Venice, Lords of Dogtown,
Yeah,
like the
Venice
early
Beach, the
days,
skate
bro.
park is quite fire, I'm not gonna
You know
lie.
what I'm saying? Also good environments, bro.
Yeah.
So like the main reason I would say is Red Bull have a high performance center over there. And they have the whole entire thing from strength and conditioning coaches to mental performance coaches to physiotherapists to
Yeah.
sports like science doctors and all of that kind of stuff too, you know, all the way through to even nutrition.
Yeah.
So being able to have that facility at my disposal only brings out the best version of myself, you know?
Get you, dude.
So I try to tap in with that and try to go there and train as much as I can to make sure my body's right, my mind's right, and I'm eating good too.
Get
And then
you.
I also get to be able to skate the best facilities in the world, work
Nah,
on
for
my
sure,
parts,
for sure.
being in the history and being in the scene at the same time. So think like it's a good environment for me to be in, and it only brings out the best version of myself when it comes down to skating. So yeah, that's why I'd spend a lot of time there.
I'm just gonna put it out there, dog. It's been a while since we received the video part from you. I get it, you're a busy man, but it's like the last video part was like ages ago when you were skating the spot in Randburg, and I'm like, dog, when can you actually expect a video like a new Brandon video part, dog? Because we've been waiting for years, dog. And me personally,
Yeah.
I'm losing my patience, bro.
That's what I'm
Low-key.
saying, bro. So I feel like a lot of people have been asking me this question.
Yeah.
And it's also been like me kind of working and focusing on specific
Yeah.
projects at the same time has kind of been like I've been diluting myself by allocating footage towards different projects,
Yeah.
but never towards my own independent video part, you know?
Get you, yeah, for
So
sure.
it's like if you had to think of it in an artist perspective, I'm doing a lot of features.
For sure,
You
for
know what
sure,
I'm
for sure,
saying?
for
But
sure.
I'm not
Yeah.
dropping my own album
I get
or
you.
my own song. You know what I'm saying? At
Yeah.
the same time. So I've been working on some footage. I've been in LA. I've stacked a couple of clips. I've definitely worked on like kind of getting everything together to be in the right space to be able to drop it by the end of this year.
Okay.
But this first video part, I wanted to be like something I'm truly really proud of myself, all the way through from like directing it all the way to producing it at the same time, bro. Like
Yeah.
I want to be able to be proud of that video part, and like when I put it out, that's something that I wanted to live for the next 15, 20 years.
I get you.
And I think like it's going to be something that I need to not be like too kind of serious about at the same time, because the best things happen spontaneously as well in the streets. And
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
like, I think I'm just excited to put out my best work at the same time. So I think for you and for everybody else that's watching, like stay tuned. I think the next video part's coming sooner than you think.
But what's next? Do you like what can we expect from Brandon? Do you like in the near future?
Yeah, so
Besides
stay
the video
tuned.
part, of course.
Yeah, stay tuned for the part, no doubt. Besides for that, a lot of community work. So going to underserved areas and different communities where skateboarding is prevalent but not really developed like that. And being able to help these kids too, you know. So in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to India to work on a little project
Let's
that we
go.
call Under My Wings. And it's all about just skating and sharing and educating and inspiring the Indian skate community too. And for me, I think it's going to be a lot of content pieces, a lot of projects, different events for sure throughout the year. But at the same time, I want to focus on the industry side, and that's my video part this year, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things. I don't want to dilute myself too thin. You know, I still want to put in a lot of focus to certain things so can put out my best work and be proud of those projects. And I think at the same time, it's about giving back, bro.
Yeah.
So doing things I need to do in the streets, skating with the community, and just having fun, bro.
That's what's
So
up.
stay
Dude.
tuned.
That's what's up. That's what's up, dude. But yeah, dude, do you have any advice for any young African skateboarder trying to make it in the industry?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so for all the up and coming kids, I think the most important thing for you to do is have fun.
Yeah.
Because that's why we all start skateboarding in the beginning, is for us to enjoy what we do. And if you're having fun, you kind of get into that state of flow way better. You start skating better, start enjoying your company. You want to put yourself in that environment because you enjoyed it, you know? So having fun, super important. The next thing is being disciplined, bro, and really being consistent. You know, being disciplined and consistent in your training program. That's another thing that's going to help elevate your progression and maybe your career too.
Yeah.
Because it extends over into different fields and different spans of life too, you know.
Definitely.
So consistency and discipline is important, but also trusting the process, bro.
Yeah.
Like I said, like some days are going to be easier than others, some days harder, but at the same time, it comes down to like really trusting the process and realize that it's okay to try and fail, but never fail to try.
Never fail to try, indeed. But yeah, dude, thank you. It's been an honor. We appreciate the way you're pushing the African skate industry, dog. Keep on doing what you're doing. Keep pushing the culture forward.
Thank you, Maji.
That's it for this episode of African Extreme. If you like what you heard, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Do the most. Catch you on the next one. Yes, sir.